Willkommen auf der unheimlichen Burg Bernstein. In der Burg auf dem großen, dunklen Hügel mitten in Österreich ist der rote Iwan im Jahr 1327 gestorben. Man sagt, dass der Geist von Iwan auch heute noch auf der mittelalterlichen, unheimlichen Burg wohnt.
Österreich ist so ein großes Land. Wo ist denn unser bequemes, modernes Hotel? Ich kann es einfach nicht finden.
James, ich muss auf Toilette.
Du willst in dieser alten, dunklen, unheimlichen Burg auf die Toilette?
Nicht ich will, ich muss.
Da ist ein großer, toter Hund. Ich habe Angst.
James, siehst du den kleinen, großen, weißen Geist?
Willkommen auf der wunderschönen und fantastischen Burg Bernstein.
Ich bin so froh, nette und lebendige Menschen zu sehen. Ich möchte Sie auf Ihrer großen, eleganten Burg an diesem späten Abend nicht stören. Aber ich muss ganz nötig auf die Toilette.
Oh nein, Natascha, schnell weg!
James, ich mach mir gleich in die Hose.
Kein Problem. Die Toilette ist im nördlichen Teil des großen Mittelhauses. Sie müssen über den dunklen, einsamen Friedhof laufen. Aber sprechen Sie nicht mit den toten, begrabenen Touristen. Dann geht es durch das große, bequeme Zimmer für besonders böse Menschen. Zum Glück sind Sie ja keine böse Frau und kein böser Mann.
Oh, wir schauen gerade einen Horrorfilm über die Burg Bernstein im Burgenland. Ist es schon Zeit für das nächste Video? Ich liebe Horrorfilme. Horror movies are all about creating a suspenseful atmosphere, which means the audio descriptions are full of adjectives that really help me imagine the scene. Speaking of adjectives, that's our topic for today. Adjectives serve to describe, characterize or clarify a noun, and they are usually placed before a noun. Let me show you a few adjectives that were used in the movie.
Das Schloss ist auf dem großen, dunklen Hügel. Österreich ist ein großes Land. Da ist ein großer, toter Hund. Es geht durch das große, unbequeme Zimmer.
German adjectives change endings based on grammatical gender, case and number of the noun. As you can see, we have dem großen Hügel, ein großes Land, ein großer Hund, and das große Zimmer. So, how do we know which ending to use when? You will not have to memorize a table for all the different cases and genders. Rather, I will teach you 4 questions. If you know these, you will be able to figure out all the endings out there. Cool, right? Question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? 2. Is the article identical to the nominative article? 3. Is the noun singular? 4. Does the article show gender? Look at these 4 questions carefully. In 5 seconds, I will ask you to bring them into the correct order. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. Knowing these 4 questions and the order they are asked is the first step towards mastering German adjective endings. We will now spend the remainder of this Lernen unit to look at and practice answering these questions, one by one. Let's start with question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? Have a look at these 5 sentences. Which ones have an article and which ones don't? Correct! None of these have an article. Instead of moving on to question 2, we need to determine what the definite article would be if there was one instead of the adjective, and then use that ending.
Brot schmeckt immer gut.
Let's add the article.
Das Brot schmeckt immer gut.
Since the article is das, we combine an E with the S from the article and have our adjective ending.
Deutsches Brot schmeckt immer gut. Mein Vater darf Essen nicht essen.
What would the definite article for essen be if we added one? Correct, it's das. This means we have another es.
Mein Vater darf das Essen nicht essen. Mein Vater darf fettes Essen nicht essen.
How about the next one?
Wir können hier Käse kaufen.
If we added an article here, it would be den, since Käse is masculine and in the accusative. So, in this case, en is our adjective ending.
Wir können hier den Käse kaufen. Wir können hier frischen Käse kaufen.
Next one.
Ich möchte Menschen helfen.
Helfen is a dative verb. So, what is the dative for plural nouns? Correct, den. Another en for the adjective ending.
Ich möchte den Menschen helfen. Ich möchte armen Menschen helfen.
Last one.
Kinder sind oft laut.
Here the article for Kinder would be die, since Kinder is in the nominative. So our adjective ending is e.
Die Kinder sind oft laut. Kleine Kinder sind oft laut.
This was the most difficult one of our 4 questions. To summarize, have a look if the noun has an article. If it doesn't, figure out what the article would be and use the ending as the adjective ending. If there is an article, move to question 2. Let's practice this. Here are 5 sentences. Ask question 1, and if the answer is no, there is no article, first write down what the article would be, then add the adjective endings. Okay, now that we've practiced question 1, let's move on to question 2. Is the article identical to the nominative? If the answer is no, the adjective ending is en. If the answer is yes, move on to question 3. Here are 5 sentences to practice this with. Question 1. Does the noun have an article? What do you think? Yes, all of them have an article. Definite articles, indefinite articles, negative articles, and possessive articles are all articles. So, not just dem in the last sentences is an article. Also, einer, keinen, einen, and meinem. So, we can move on to question 2. Is the article identical to the nominative? Let's write the nouns with their nominative articles behind the sentences.
Die Universität, eine Universität. Der Kaffee, kein Kaffee. Der Schreibtisch, ein Schreibtisch. Der Onkel, mein Onkel. Das Auto.
Which articles match the ones in the sentences? Correct, none of them. Eine Universität is not the same as eine Universität. So, for all of them, we have to add en.
Ich studiere an einer deutschen Universität. Ich will keinen starken Kaffee trinken. Ich habe einen großen Schreibtisch. Das ist die Tochter von meinem cleveren Onkel. Sie sitzt in dem kleinen Auto.
Let's try it yourself. Question 2 was much easier, right? Question 3 is as easy. Is the noun singular? If the answer is no, the adjective ending is en. If the answer is yes, move on to question 3. This time, I have 3 sentences for you. Question 1. Yes, they all have articles. Die, keine, and unsere. Question 2. Yes, the articles are identical with the nominative. Die Schuhe, keine Fragen, unsere Handys. Question 3. Is the noun singular? No, none of the nouns are singular. Schuhe, Fragen, and Handys are plural. We need to use en as the adjective endings.
Wo hast du die coolen Schuhe gekauft? Es gibt keine dummen Fragen. Unsere neuen Handys sind hier.
Easy, right? Let's practice questions 1, 2, and 3. You got it? Let's move on to the last question, number 4. Does the article show the grammatical gender? If the answer is no, we need to add the gender information to the adjective. If the answer is yes, we don't need to do that, and our adjective ending is just e. Before we will look at example sentences, I would like to clarify what showing the grammatical gender means. Have a look at this.
Das ist eine Rhabarber-Barbara. Das ist ein Streichholzschächtelchen. Er ist ein Lulatsch. Ich habe eine Verschlimmbesserung gemacht. Ich liebe das Quietscheentchen. Der Tollpatsch ist wieder da.
I purposefully chose words that I'm sure you've never heard before. Just by looking at the articles, can you tell what grammatical gender each of them has? For some of them you can. Even if you don't know what a Rhabarber-Barbara is, the fact that it is eine Rhabarber-Barbara tells you that it must be feminine. Only feminine nouns use the article eine. For the next two examples, Streichholzschächtelchen and Lulatsch, it is not so clear, since the article ein is used for both masculine and neuter nouns. So it could be das Streichholzschächtelchen or der Streichholzschächtelchen. If you ask your German friends or dictionary, you will find it's neuter, das Streichholzschächtelchen. But the article ein in the sentence does not help you determine that. The other three examples are clearer again. Verschlimmbesserung must be feminine, Quietscheentchen must be neuter, and Tollpatsch must be masculine. Now you know what I mean with question number 4, right? If the article does not show the grammatical gender, add es for neuter nouns, also called s-words, and er for masculine nouns, also called r-words, to indicate the gender. Now you see another reason why we like to call masculine, neuter and feminine nouns r-words, s-words and e-words. If the article does show the grammatical gender, the adjective ending is simply e, since we don't need to show the gender. And here are 4 example sentences with adjectives. Okay, let's go. Mein, unser and ein all do not show the gender. All of these are used both for masculine and neuter nouns. This means, for all masculine nouns or der words, we need to use er as the adjective ending, and for neuter nouns or das words, we need to add es.
Mein bester Freund heißt Kevin. Unser großes Impuls-Kursbuch liegt auf dem Tisch. Das ist ein hoher Preis für ein kleines Baguette.
Time for practice. And I'm back again, for the last time in this unit. Now that we had a chance to talk about each of the 4 questions individually, I would like to bring them all together and mix them up. Here is the first sentence. Question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? The answer is no, so we need to replace the adjective with the appropriate article and use the article ending for the adjective.
Hans trägt die Schuhe. Hans trägt schwarze Schuhe.
Next one. Question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? The answer is yes, einen. We need to move on to question 2. Is the article identical to the nominative article? The answer is no. The nominative indefinite article for Fernseher, a masculine noun, is ein, which is not the same as einen. So we need to add en.
Herr Schulz braucht einen neuen Fernseher.
Okay, next one. Question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? The answer is yes, die. Question 2. Is the article identical to the nominative article? Yes, the nominative definite article for Äpfel, which is plural, is die. Question 3. Is the noun singular? I already gave it away. It's not. We need to add en.
Die leckeren Äpfel sind ganz frisch.
And another one. Question 1. Is there an article before the adjective? Yes, sein. Don't forget, there are definite, indefinite, negative and possessive articles. Question 2. Is the article identical to the nominative article? Yes, the nominative possessive article for Auto, which is neuter, is sein. Question 3. Is the noun singular? Yes. Question 4. Does the article show grammatical gender? No, it doesn't. Sein is used for masculine and neuter nouns. Because it's neuter, we use es as the ending.
Ich kaufe sein altes Auto.
Last one. Question 1. Yes, die is the article. Question 2. Yes, die is the same as the nominative article. Question 3. Yes, Freundin is singular. Question 4. Yes, it does show the gender. Our adjective ending is e.
Jennifer ist die neue Freundin von Susi.
This was a long video, but I hope it helped you get a lot of practice with these 4 questions. You will have another chance to practice right after this video, and then we will also review this in another unit. And again, next semester. You will see that answering these questions may be time-consuming in the beginning, but determining the right adjective endings will get faster and faster over time. I will go back to my movie now. See you soon! Whoa.